Especially when you've got...
List out Giles, Irani, Harmison and Hoggard. Holland heavily dependent on the likes of Baz Zuderant and Roland Lefebvre, both of whom have played county cricket. Tim de Leyder played a bit of second 11 cricket way back with Surrey. And also keep an eye out for the man at the top of the innings there, Dan van Bunga, who scored a very good 50 against India in their opening game of the tournament. Let's pick up the action then right at the start of the Dutch innings. In the commentary box, David Lloyd was with David Gower.
Luc van Troost is the left-hander who is yet to make his mark in official one-day internationals. Remember, these are amateur players who play a lot of games at home on these varying pitches and whose competition is mostly limited to the ICC trophy that decides who comes to join the big boys in the World Cup. And Trost's average yet to develop. His partner Dan van Bunga, who made 62 the other day, the highest score of the match between India and Holland. Andy Caddick, the man who will open the bowling, just testing his run-up. And he is a man whom England need to fire throughout the rest of this tournament. England will realise that for them to qualify now for the Super Sixes will take some very good cricket when it comes to what should be the bigger games against India, Pakistan and Australia. If they can win 2 out of those, the assumption would be they would go through. That's assuming there are no horrendous nightmares against the Dutch and Namibia. If they can win 4 matches, they will be in the Super Sixes. At least they stand a very, very good chance of being in the Super Sixes.
I think it's pretty simple for England. They've got to win every cricket match that they play. Quite an attacking field, 2 slips and a gully. 1 extra catcher in there.
First ball of the match, just a little bit wide of off stump. Something of a loosener for Andy Caddick. First runs of the day for Holland. That's nicely put away through the offside. Indeed will reach the boundary, so Van Troost is off the mark with 4 runs through cover.
No surprises, it's a drive. A full-length delivery from Andrew Caddick. As always, you try to get a little bit of swing with this Kookaburra white ball. Over pitches just outside off stump, Caddick. And I'm sure that it will be a quick outfield and it will get quicker during the day. A lot of rain last evening, lots and lots of rain, but it's snuffed dry out there.
A bit shorter from Caddick this time. Certainly no half volleys to follow up the boundary. One boundary shot so far, the runs for Holland. Fine delivery from James Anderson. That's the right sort of line, right sort of length. Van Bunga just drawn into a defensive shot and the ball zipping past the outside edge.
Early days in any innings, but I just wonder whether Holland have set the stall out just to bat as 50 overs and see how many runs they can get. There's always a thought in one-day international cricket to take advantage of your first 15 overs with the fielding restrictions, but England again have strengthened that slip cordon for Anderson. 3 slips and a gully.
Edge through the slips, that's going to be 4. We managed to keep it low. Dan van Bunga's off the mark. It's not a particularly convincing shot though.
Yeah, it just may be a feature of this pitch too, that the ball, once it takes the outside edge, it will dive through to the slips. It flies through second and third slip. Flintoff and White. It's a genuine edge. He's played at that ball defensively. It's a good line, Anderson.
Big appeal as Van Troost gets that front foot across in front of the stumps. It's 4-leg buys though, that's the verdict. from umpire Rudy Kurtzen. Keeper and slips were in good voice just then.
And the bowler too. And if you do hit him on the pad, I think you'll always get an appeal from any bowling side. He just shovels outside the leg stump with his back leg, and then his front leg goes in front of the stumps. If you can get the ball to swing back into his pads from a fullish length like that, I reckon that pitch is just outside.
I'd agree with that entirely. Yes, it's the angle always to left-handers. Even if you have got a man who's going to turn his body a wee bit like that and try and get his front foot across in front of stumps, you've still got to get the ball from right arm over the wicket. You've got to get it to pitch on and straighten. It's done a little bit of straightening there, but I think the inference from all that is it would certainly have pitched outside leg stump. Good decision from Rudy Kurtzen. 4 more added to the total as leg byes. Blackwell, a man down at long leg.
Well, Van Troost will keep a bowler interested if he can get the ball full of length and swing him back into the pads. He has this shimmy with his feet. His left foot goes back outside leg stump, which brings his front foot bang in line. Bowlers should be watchful of any foot movement and just watching and seize on. Just get the ball running back into him. Van Bunga on strike.
Play and a miss. Dan Van Bunga is scheduled to be with the MCC Young Cricketers next year, or rather this year, next season in the UK. Didn't quite get his feet into action there as he might have done. That's just a minor technical thing which I'm sure the coaches at MCC will work on. He's been in this country since 1st November. The Dutch sent some of their players down to Cape Town for an extended training camp, so he's familiar with the heat, familiar with conditions, familiar with the country. Just not familiar with James Anderson. Taken very comfortably in the gully. It's Craig White who's made that look very, very easy indeed. There was a rehearsal of the shot, the ball before, when he met with fresh air. This time he's got it off the outside edge, the outside half of the bat. And that's the first wicket down for Dutch, for the Holland team today.
Just a matter of time for me. Anderson just getting the ball outside off stump and a touch of extra pace. Van Bunga doesn't get on top of the shot, and it's almost a steer into that gully region. Good catch there from Craig White. And so England have made an early breakthrough. No real runs yet from Holland. Van Bunga has gone for 4, and it's 15 for 1.
Holland are 1 down for 15. We're very close to the end of the 6th over of the innings. The new batsman is Nick Statham, an architectural student from Rotterdam.
Andy Caddick started his 5th over. It's gone nowhere, that. I'm pretty sure it was glove. Certainly the handle of the bat. You'd expect that to carry.
Absolutely, good length by Andy Caddick. He's in that corridor that he's known for. That came off top of the bat or the glove. Now normally that would have carried to 3rd slip quite easily. It would have bounced, bounced well in front.
Drop short again. Frustration for Andy Caddick and his England teammates. The problem is when you're at slip and you see this happening, you never know where to stand. Do I come forward another yard? And then suddenly the batsman flashes at one and it hits you between the eyes. Now this is up in the air. It's going to be safe. We're going to try and get 2 here. This could be tight. Well, might have been if he'd been caught. 5 runs from the over. It's 21 for 1. Big shout, and finger goes up. James Anderson gets his 2nd wicket. He felt felt if he could get it right, with a little bit of movement into Van Troost, he was going to cause him problems.
That is the problem with that unusual technique that Van Troost has. When the ball swings into him, he's basically committed to playing across his front pad. That's exactly what happened on this occasion. It's Anderson swinging it in nice and late. Van Troost playing across that front pad, hitting him in front of middle and leg, and very typical left-hander's dismissal, as you would know, with that one coming back in at them.
Well, it's the wicket England wanted. It's their second. Van Troost has gone for 8. It's 22 for 2. Bas Zuiderent comes to the crease. The only professional in the Dutch side. Lives in Brighton and has played at Sussex since 1998. The question they're asking is that the bowler felt it was pad, then bat. There's no doubt the bat was involved, it's just a matter of when. James Anderson and the slip cord and keeper felt it was pad, then bat.
Looked like it was pad first. Umpire's always a bit reluctant to give an LBW decision when there's bat involved, but there was definite pad first. Hit him low down, hit him in line, so that was a pretty good shot.
Well, I reckon I'd go a bit further than that catch. I reckon that was out. I think it's one of those that don't always get given. It's 24 for 2.
Missing leg, appeal also for the catch. Don't think there was any bat involved there though. Umpire Darrell here is of the same opinion.
No, there were two noises there, Mike. I wonder whether that was both pads or if there was perhaps a little bit of bat in that. Yeah, it looks pretty much as though there were two pads involved as the ball crashed into the front pad and then the back pad and then on the way out to gully there.
Should get a couple there. Very quick outfield. Collingwood doing the chasing, coming back for the third and getting there quite comfortably. That was well run. Should be out, and is simple catch by the captain, Nasser Hussain.
Pretty soft dismissal there from Bas Zuiderent. James Anderson just again pitching the ball up. He's got a very, very good length, inviting the drive. And the ball perhaps just stopping a little bit. Zuiderent very loose there and lobbing the ball up to a grateful Nasser Hussain at mid-off.
Well, 3 wickets down. England will be happy with that. Anderson will be happy with that. That's his best figures ever in this form of the game. Holland, as the water card comes out, are 31 for 3. Well caught. Well taken. He's not even bothering to wait on the umpire Rudi Kurtzen to raise his finger. A 4th wicket here for James Anderson.
Oh, that's extraordinary. I think the batsman was embarrassed into walking off there. He sort of made a couple of moves to go towards the pavilion, and then when he realised that he'd been spotted taking a couple of sneaky steps towards the pavilion, he knew he had to go. Aggressive delivery from Anderson. It looks as though it's come straight off the face, and an athletic catch from a very, very old man behind the stumps.
Holland in desperate trouble now. It's 31 for 4. Tim De Leader, the new batsman coming out for Holland. Man of the match in their last game against India. Didn't produce too much with the bat. He needs to. A wicket would help, and there it is. 5 down now for Holland.
Good piece of bowling from Andy Flintoff. He pushed the batsman back onto the back foot there, got him worried about the ball whizzing around his shoulders and round under his chin, and then fired one up there, caught him on the crease and dispatched him OBW.
Now where did this pitch? Fractionally outside off stump. Where did it hit him? In line with the stumps. That's what matters. On the back foot. Don't think there was too much doubt about that carrying on and hitting the stumps. 31 for 5. New batsman for Holland, Kloppenberg. 31 for 5. Desperate situation this. Tim the leader and Kloppenberg together, they need a partnership. James Anderson back in the attack. Just evading Collingwood there at point. They get a boundary, but it was another close call. Close. Well, they're going up. Umpire Willie Kurtzon isn't interested. That's not the 5th one for James Anderson.
Another terrific delivery there from Jimmy Anderson. Got the ball up there on a fantastic length, and there's a hint that the ball might have hit something on the way through there. It's difficult to tell.
I think that might have been bat onto pad. That's a good shot. That was well timed and well placed.
That's a terrific shot, the most authoritative shot that we've seen from any of the Dutch players today. Tim de Leader there, just hit this one on the up, nice swing of the arms, crashed it through extra cover for 4.
And a couple of runs here at least. Very quick outfield. Michael Vaughan chasing, just gets there. That wasn't the best of running from the Dutch. It's 42 for 5 after 18. Good shot. Found the gap again. Certainly putting back to ball.
It's a great strike. He's really timing the ball well out there. Ball's flown to the boundary from that square cut.
That single, somewhat scrappy single, brings up the 50. 50 for 5. Reeves after 21 overs. Just turned off his legs. Nicely played. Timed pretty well as well, I'll tell you. So get there, I think. It does get there. Excellent piece of timing. Good piece of willow in his hand.
Nothing more than a push forward and looking to go through mid-on, and the ball came back with a square on the leg side. It'll be the pace of Flintoff that has got the ball to the boundary. It's a pleasing shot, just clipped off his legs.
In one of these games, as a player, you always have that nasty little feeling in the stomach. Yeah, we've got to go out and do it well and win the game. There are upsets. Sometimes it just doesn't go your way. That's the man who I think I'd be bringing into the attack sooner than later. The side ahead of Ashley Giles. Bowled well in Australia in the VB series. Single off the last ball of the over. 6 runs from the over. A good one for Holland. It's 56 for 5. Good shot, but it's only going to get one. He's going to find Andy Caddick out on the side boundary. Good fielding. Good throw. Straight over the top. Much appreciated by Alex Stewart and all keepers. And they can stand there and just take it at ease.
They got Andrew Caddick out there as a saver in the deep. And the one thing that he's got is a good throw. England are not the most mobile mobile team in this World Cup. And it'll be a problem for Hussain if he does get overrun by teams, by the better teams, as to where he gets his best fielders. Collingwood's his best fielder.
He just won. Michael Vaughan down a third man. Yeah, so he's his best fielder, and probably Nasser Hussain's the next best fielder, isn't he?
We've got decent fielders and reliable fielders. Hussain is a run-out merchant inside the circle. He can get to the ball quickly, as can Collingwood there. Both inside that circle. They've got adequate fielders, but not real threats.
It should have been a comfortable one, and the end it turned into, at one stage, a panicky one. Very good communication there between the batsmen. Easy one, this.
That's gone a long way in the air. Will it go far enough? It won't. Caught. That's another wicket down for Holland. They needn't have lost that wicket at this stage.
It's the resemblance of the partnership starting to unfold. Loftenberg deciding to take on Blackwell, hitting across the line against the spin, really getting a leading edge and lobbing it to mid-wicket to Nick Knight, who takes a comfortable catch. 67 for 6.
The new batsman for Holland, Edgar Schifferle, comes in at number 8, averaging just over 9 runs per innings. That will get some runs. That will be a boundary.
Yes, Hussain wouldn't be very happy with that delivery. It was short and wide. Delader has been playing pretty well. He had no trouble in putting this one away. Good cut shot, beat the sweeper on the cover boundary.
Hooked again. It's a pretty quick outfield, but won't get there. 3 runs scored though.
Holland's fixtures, if you're in their position, every game is a tough game. They've got to play Australia next, so that's going to be even more difficult.
Edgar Schifferle back on strike. Spent a month with Warwickshire last summer. That should have helped his batting a bit. End of the over, pretty good over that for Holland. 7 runs coming from it. It's 79 for 6. Big shout again. Possible run out at the bowler's end. And he's asking for it. Umpire Darrell here is asking the third umpire to get involved here.
Misunderstanding. Nick Knight was in pretty quickly from backward point, or it was Collingwood, pardon me. He was in from backward point. He's a specialist in that position. He got rid of it quickly. Very accurate throw as well. And he's back in, no problems there.
And the leader will be happy to see that. Not out. That may give him a bit more than a single. It does, it's 4.
Good shot. Blackwell bowling over the wicket into the pads. It's a good sweep shot. Got it pretty fine. Beat. Fine leg was in the circle.
There he goes again. One bounce, another boundary.
Good shot again. This time he opted for the squarer option. The first one was more of a paddle. This was full-blooded sweep shot in front of square.
One, beautifully bowled. Alex Stewart, the man with the gloves.
Superbly bowled, beat him in flight. Shifley played 2 good sweep shots in the over. That occasion he went for the lower percentage shot, looked to hit it over mid-wicket against the spin. Fortunately, didn't keep his head down. And Blackwell deceived him as Alex Stewart takes a comfortable stumping. 90 for 7.
And out comes the Holland captain, Roland Lefebvre. Shot, 4 runs again for Tim the leader. Still putting back the ball.
He's played very well today, Tim the leader.
It's got away pretty fine. No one down there. And that ball has got enough legs in it just to run away for 4. So it's the first boundary for Roland Lefebvre. It's 107 for 7. That's got him. That's just kept a wee bit low. I think there's an inside edge as well. But it's the end of Roland Lefebvre, the captain of the Dutch team. His assistance to Tim de Leede comes to an end.
This is a classic Craig White dismissal, really. We saw him remove Ricky Ponting and Damian Martin and batsmen like that in Australia with these balls that just slant into the right-handed batsman, which is Craig White's natural shape, taking the inside edge and then ricocheting off the top of leg stump. Something that you see Craig White do quite often in this World Cup if he manages to stay fit and bowl his quota of overs.
108 for 8. The new batsman, Adil Raja. High score of 5 in one-day internationals. Craig White starting his 9th over now. It's got to be close, and it's close enough for umpire Darrell Hare. So the finger goes up yet again. Holland teetering on the brink here. It's the 9th wicket down. It's the end of Adil Raja.
Craig White again, the slight bit of reverse swing that he gets with the older ball, trapping Raja on the crease, and a pretty straightforward LBW decision there by the looks of it for Darrell Hare. Ball hitting him somewhere in the middle of the shin, and I think we'll see here that it's going to cannon into middle and leg stump. Close enough.
Finger eventually coming up. It's 112 for 9. Jeroen Smits is man number 11 for the Dutch today. It's 112 for 9. He was part of a decent partnership the other day against India for the 9th wicket. We've got a chance to press for 2 here. It's wide of Anderson at long off. And that is indeed 50 for Tim de Leede. Rare opportunity for a Dutch batsman here today in East London to raise his bat and acknowledge the crowd, but he deserves the applause he's getting. Great shot. Very solid strike from Tim de Leede. Over the top of long off this time. It's a boundary with which to finish the over. It's 127 for 9. Flintoff in. That's through. That's nicely through too. Good looking shot through the offside. On the up. Crashed away past cover. The Dutch resistance are back in action. That's a good shot. Aimed for the gap at deep extra cover, and he's found it perfectly as well.
Terrific shot from Smits, using his feet again, managing to get inside the ball, giving himself a bit of room to enable himself to hit the ball over extra cover.
They've appealed for it. It's not going to be given. Much to the consternation of, it seems, both Alex Stewart and Andy Caddick. Alex Stewart still asking. But that is the end of the innings.
So 50 overs Holland batted eventually, 142 for 9, which actually wasn't a bad effort when you consider at one stage they were 67 for 6 and indeed 31 for 5. And I think possibly if there's a slight worry for England, which there really shouldn't be when you bowled a side out or held a side to 142, is that the last pair added 40, and where were the death bowlers who were going to get it right at the end with a slightly stronger batting lineup? That could have been a bit of a problem. However, 142 for 9. Holland's effort, with Delay to the top scorer with 58. Caddick outstanding 0 for 19 from his 10 overs. Anderson 4 for 25. Flintoff 1 for 29. Craig White 2 for 22. And Blackwell, the most expensive, 2 for 37.
Nick Knight's figures, everything just over 41. Marcus Trescothick 37.18. Past 2,000 runs now in 57 matches. They're both strikers of a cricket ball. They both like to get on with it. And the first man they're going to have to deal with is Edgar Schifferle. First ball of the innings. Just guided away. Single down to third man. Yeah, I've just got a feeling they have to be a little bit watchful. Obviously, they'd like to come out and go at it all guns blazing, but it hasn't really been that sort of pitch, I don't think. I know a different class of bowling can make a difference, but the Dutch, we saw in that first match they played against India, quite keen to concentrate on their lengths and lines. Bowled it pretty straight. And evidence, if you want it, of uneven bounce. Second ball of the innings, and it's shot along the deck.
Happens every now and then at Buffalo Park. This type of surface is almost ideally suited to the slow medium paces, and most of the Dutch bowlers are like that, so we can expect a good line of length, we can expect a change of pace.
Knight is off the mark as well now. Yes, from a batter's point of view, you just have to take your time to get used to it, don't you?
It's probably the type of surface that you're never quite in on, and you've got to be patient. Nick Knight, of course, he's a bit of a goer, particularly in one-day cricket. He likes to get on with it in the first 15 overs, but conditions not ideal for that.
Bit of a test for Adil Raja down at third man. He's just good enough to deal with it. Had a sprawl on the edge of the field there, but Trescothick, a good-looking shot too.
England take the points in this match. Just look at that piece of fielding again. That ball went very quickly down to third man. Then they face Namibia or Elizabeth. They win there. They're on 8 points from 3 games.
That's good stuff.
Then after that they face the big guns. Then they play Pakistan in Cape Town, then India, then of course Australia at the end. So the matches against Pakistan and India should be the crucial ones. They've of course given up the 4 points when they didn't play Zimbabwe, which is a problem in itself because it just adds pressure that they don't really need at this point.
That's through the gap as well. Nicely timed. Raja's got a long way to come around from third man to even think about catching that. He can't do it. It's a good first over, productive first over for England. It's 8 without loss. That's it with immense power. That's lashed away. So that's raced to the boundary.
Width offered. Trescothick It's a pretty well backward point. No chance of either catching or stopping that.
That's the first wicket going down for England. It's a huge swipe. And not a particularly good one. Marcus Trescothick aiming to hit that one out of Buffalo Park. And in the end, it's just the stumps that are disturbed, and that's the end of him.
No real need for this. Marcus Trescothick got off to a good start. Had some good shots, but on this occasion, running down the wicket. Woeful hoik aimed over mid-wicket somewhere. When he looks at that, he'll be pretty disappointed. First wicket that Schifferle gets. England now 18 for 1.
The Dutch have struck, and Michael Vaughan is in at number 3 after that horrendous heave from Marcus Trescothick. I think there's a message there. Trescothick had played a couple of very fine shots. Michael Vaughan, if he's got the message, will just play his natural game. It's a very good natural game too. We saw that through Australia in the Test series against the best in the world. He's now facing Edgar Schifferle. A little bit of low bounce again, but he's in the right sort of position. It's guided away. It's him off the mark. Well, he nearly managed to drag that back towards the stumps. A little prod of the pitch afterwards. So close. Well, he's hit that well enough. It's going to get away from Raja. It was hit with immense power. That's what England got to do, though. Got to wait for the ball that is in the right sort of slot. A little bit of width will enable them to play the shots they need.
With respect to the Dutch bowlers, there's going to be a bad ball on offer virtually every over or so, so it's just a matter of rotating the strike, working the ones, and bad deliveries will come.
Nicely flicked away. Northcote is the man chasing that, picks it up just inside that deep mid-wicket boundary.
That's a good shot. As I said, the man in form, but with lots of ability as well.
World-class player, Michael Vaughan. Talked about by all the great players as being right up there. Sachin Tendulkar, Brian Lara, Michael Vaughan. It must be a great feeling for him to be talked of as one of the world's best players. That's why. Seizes on anything that Sorba picks, plays an exquisite shot through extra cover.
Again problems, missed. Stays on the fielder behind the square.
Well, I just wonder if England are getting slightly twitchy here. There's not going to be much pace on the bowling from Holland, but they will field pretty well. He's nowhere in the picture. Mix up once again between Vaughan and Knight. Nowhere to be seen. This would have been a big wicket for Holland.
Again, Tim, the leader at short extra cover, must have thought to himself at one point that it was coming directly at him, but Vaughan found the gap.
It's in the air for a little while. There is a short mid-off in position there as a catcher, but he judges it perfectly. It's another brilliant shot from Vaughan. We've talked about Trescothick in the stance. Now that is Michael Vaughan. Bent front leg, body weight coming forward into the shots, just frees his hands through extra cover again.
Found the gap again. Quick outfield, no chance of getting that off. Third four of the over.
Well, it is terrific to watch. You never tire of watching Michael Vaughan at the crease. Successive boundaries, one through the offside. Then he just gets the angle that he wants for an over-pitch delivery, just drifting onto leg stump. Works the ball through mid-wicket with a full face of the bat. And again, it's lovely balance.
Not a bad over that. 13 runs coming from the over, 45 for 1. Well guided. We'll get at least 2 here. Shifley again, the fielder, brought back into the action. Perhaps that contributed a bit to the dismissal of the opener. You never usually see him charging bowlers like that too often, do you?
No, I think they would have talked about that 15 overs while the ball's hard, because they will not get any pace from Holland's bowlers. They'll try to contain the game. I'm not sure that they're good enough to do that, Holland.
Found the gap again. That's well played. Nick Knight. It's a long chase and a fruitless chase. And that brings up 50 for England. Well played again. Finding these gaps quite well, Nick Knight.
In the slot, left-handed slot. Anything that's full of length and just round about leg stump.
Almost. Leading edge.
Well, you wouldn't believe it, you wouldn't write about it. Just a nothing sort of delivery. He's looking to whip the ball into the leg side. I think that just slows and stays in the pitch.
Again, as you said, Bumble, get yourselves out. Michael Vaughan trying desperately to comply.
Well, there's more ways to skin a cat than just having pressure around the bat.
Looking for 2, Michael Vaughan. Statham again, the fielder. Can't prevent the second run though.
I'm not sure whether England have seen any of the... And that's a good course as well, next to the ground, right next to it. Memorable course. See, there's plenty to do here. What's wrong with it? It's lovely. I'm not saying I'm coming here for my holidays, but don't miss it. Never up, never in.
Well, that's not something that Adil Raja would have seen too often. And that boundary brings up the 50 partnership.
He started to play that shot really well now, Nick Knight. He's one of the few players that gets it away successfully. A confident shot. Obviously been worked on and practiced. Not pretty but effective. Knight's moved on to 29 from 38. 10 fours in this England innings.
And again, Tim, the leader, was moved just a bit squarer, but it mattered not.
I think they should know actually that Nick Knight plays that shot effectively. There's no fielder out there in the deep. Or just push back to the edge of the circle. They're still restricted at Holland on the number of players that they can have outside the 30-yard circle, and he'll take advantage. Field's moving back just in that problem area for that reverse sweep, and a catcher has come in short on the leg side. Just good aerial shot there of this field. It's difficult for an off spinner to bowl to this.
That reverse sweep is a shot that usually pulls up most field placings. There we go again. Slightly different this time, but the same result.
Well, the cheek of it, trying to manoeuvre the field just in that problem area where Knight will play the shot. He's confident on the shot. Now have a look at this for improvisation. Just a little dink. Remember, he's a left-handed batsman and just changes his hands round somehow. Yeah, 3-4s, lots to think about.
12 runs from the over. It's 7-9 for 1.
Catch it.
Into the gap again. Lots of shouts of catch it, but he knows exactly where he's placing it, Michael Vaughan.
For me, he needs both catches. As a leg side catcher, needs both catches on the offside. Just have a look at this. Vaughan on the drive. Look how much it's in the air for a long time through extra cover. Now, there's nothing wrong with having two catches right there. There's a drive man on the offside. Well, you can have two there. He's coming a little bit straighter now. Just give Vaughan something to think about and get two in front of his eye line.
Go up.
Here we go again, watching the ball right onto the bat. 15 overs bowled, 86 for 1.
That's such a class shot, particularly as there is so little pace coming from the bowler, so little pace coming from the wicket, and still he's able to dispatch the ball with effortless timing and has raced away across the boundary through straight mid-wicket. That's not easy.
The Australian commentators kept on asking, well, where's Michael Vaughan been? He's 28.
Well, he made his Test match debut here in 1999 at Wanderers, and walked to the wicket when we were 2 for 4, I think. And since then, he was identified then as being, you know, a class act, and for one reason or another, whether it was his own fitness or you know, injuries that he had broken hands, he had knee injuries, he's had shoulder injuries, and he seemed to have missed a hell of a lot of cricket since that time. But now he's got himself a run in the team. He's been injury free, and it's just showing what a fantastic player he is. And there he goes again. He's blocked another one through a very small gap between mid-off and extra cover, and another effortless boundary to Michael Vaughan.
Nicely playing McKnight. Good backing up. He's doing it well. McKnight, he knows that Michael Vaughan's seeing it like a football. He's moved on to 47, Michael Vaughan. McKnight 40. He's 40 from 48. Michael Vaughan, though, has come from just 41 deliveries. Good piece of backing up. Takes it well. Chat now between bowler and captain. Ron Lefebvre, the captain of Holland, played quite a lot of cricket with him down at Somerset many years ago. Needless to say, we were very original in our nickname for him. We call him Clogsy. Inside out. He hasn't quite got it. He'll pick up 2. He'll cruise 2.
It's that famous West Country humour, Biff.
Well, and his English wasn't that great then, so he thought it was quite funny.
Actually, I was on a internal flight from Johannesburg with his father yesterday, and they are absolutely identical.
And that's his 50. Well played, Michael Vaughan. Made it look very easy. Good signs for England. That's what he needs. get that form, get a few runs under his belt, and runs, well, usually bring more confidence as their timing. Knight's continued as well. He had a very good VB series. So 2 England's 4 men from Australia continue.
Yeah, the now familiar Barmy Army Michael Vaughan song rings up. Heard that once or twice in Australia. Virtually every time he got a bat in his hand, they were singing his name. It was such a commanding performance from him in what was a pretty desperate series for the rest of us over there in Australia, and he alone sort of carried the torch and was quite rightly named man of the series, even though we lost the series 4-1.
Well, that's good round. They even had time to have a little consultation about that one. Just ticking over nicely. Just 37 more required. Look at that for a split. Doesn't mind where you bowl it.
Yeah, that was a massive feature of his play, and it has been for the last 12 months, is that there isn't really an area on the ground or a particular shot that he's weak at. You know, if you bowl the ball in a particular place, he'll hit it where it's meant to go. And you know, I think probably that he's up there with in the best 3 batsmen in the world as things stand at the moment.
And another good over for England. 18 gone, 107 for 1. 5-4 split field. It is. Nothing wrong with that for a start either.
Very nice indeed. Particularly for an off-spin bowler, magnificent leg break. Absolutely perfect. Not many times the ball's gone past Michael Vaughan's bat in the last 12 months.
Optimistic appeal. Just disguising his off-spin very well. He's gone. He's got Michael Vaughan. Well bowled. And he's delighted, and so he should be. Nothing wrong with that delivery. That's 3 good deliveries, and he gets the wicket.
Yeah, it's a huge wicket. Great scout. 3 fantastic deliveries. We had the wrong information, heard he was an off-break bowler. Looks like he's a leg spinner, and a pretty good one. Michael Vaughan on his way, 51.
Just having a look at that wicket. It's worth having a look at. It's good bowling. Just gets the ball to dip in a little bit. Michael Vaughan looking to try and get it through the offside. And well taken, a slip. So the breakthrough just before drinks. Dan Van Dunn gets his wicket, and Michael Vaughan's gone for 51. It's 107 for 2. Andrew Flintoff's first delivery. And of course England will want to win this as quickly as they can, won't they, Butch?
Yeah, it's very important. Run rate comes into it at the end of the day. England fell foul of that ruling in the 99 World Cup. Goodness me, he struck again, 2 in the over, and Flintoff gets a long hop and manages to pull it quite weakly straight to mid-wicket.
Captain takes the catch. Well, 2 wickets in the over. And this is a pretty soft wicket, really, it has to be said.
It's the sort of delivery that you'd expect Freddie to dispatch 30 yards over the boundary. Maybe bounces a little bit on him, but other than that, it's a pretty soft dismissal. Manages to pull it straight to Roland Lefebvre at mid-wicket and strolls off, thinking of what might have been. Score 107 for 3.
What a great bowling change. Dan Van Dunn comes into the attack and picks up 2 wickets. He's got 1 ball to go in this over. Already, it's a double wicket over with no runs conceded. Ian Blackwell's the man that's come to the crease. And we're trying to win this as quickly as he can and give a bit of experience to a few of the batsmen. Well, man in your picture there, and he's delighted. Just changing the field. Nothing too drastic. Man coming in at City Point. And mid-on, just dropping back to orthodox.
Come on, Daddy.
1 ball to go in the over. Dan Van Bun. What else has he got in stall? It's a pretty good answer. Not quite timed as he'd like, but I think it's going to go all the way. It does. Goes for 4. So the last ball brings a 4 for England, but the previous 5 belong to Holland. 2 wickets. Knight's still there. And the anchor roll, 41 not out from 51 deliveries, 6 4s. Good running. So look at the dismissal of Michael Vaughan. And just look how he gives himself room, trying to get room to get this through the offside.
Yeah, I've just opened out the front leg a little bit, give himself a chance to hit the ball down the ground. But as we saw when Ian Blackwell bowled, there was a little bit of turn in the pitch, and that ball definitely gripped and turned enough to take the outside edge and go to first slip.
If you see a finger spinner turning it, odds are that anyone can bowl a half-decent wrist spin will get some response, and he certainly has. And contrary to all the information we've got on Dan Van Bun, we were told off spinner. Well, he's certainly not that. He's a leg spinner, and he looks a pretty good one. Nicely timed, Ian Blackwell. And that's going to go for 4 more. And that was nicely played. Didn't try and hit it, just timed it.
Terrific piece of timing from Ian Blackwell. The outfield has sped up a little bit. There was a bit of rain around last night, which slowed it down this morning. But he's literally just leant on that ball. I think perhaps the gap through extra cover is a little bit too big for my liking for an off spinner. But even so, magnificent piece of timing. Just let the hands go through the ball, and the ball raced off to the boundary for 4.
Well, obviously the captain heard you, Butch, because he's brought the extra colour around a bit. Just help ourselves to 1 there. It's good cricket. Single. So without breaking sweat, there's 7 runs off the over, 1 ball to go.
I think that Nick Knight is definitely one of the best workers of a ball in mid-innings that England have. And if there was a chance perhaps to have Michael Vaughan back opening the batting, Nick Knight would be quite a good replacement in the middle order.
Not sure I'd agree with that. 20 overs gone, it's 118 for 3. And Van Bun has decided to come around the wicket to the left-handed Nick Knight. 2 left-handers at the crease for England, Knight and Blackwell. Magnificent start. 1.1 overs, no maidens, 4 runs, 2 wickets.
He's got a nice easy action as well, just reminiscent of Shane Warne, just a little walk up to the crease and then the full toss. Which Warne wouldn't be quite so happy with, but the balls that he's landed so far have definitely looked decent. There's plenty of revs on them, and with improved control he could be a very handy performer.
Well, you're always going to get it slightly wrong when you're a wrist spinner. There's always going to be the odd one to hit. And I suppose if you're a bowler, I suppose the low full toss is better than the long hop. Having said that, you've got a wicket with one of those, haven't you?
Yeah, the game is there to make fools out of all of us, Beef.
And regularly does. And he's got that one through. And that brings Nick Knight's 50 up. It's been a patient one. but full of control. He's now moved on to 51 not out from 56 balls with 8 boundaries. He's seen a couple of wickets go at the other end, but it hasn't phased him whatsoever, and he's steering England home.
Yeah, Nick Knight, it looks as though, or it would have appeared that he was playing the anchor role, but he's still scored his runs at a strike rate of 91 per 100 balls, which is swift by any standards. And because of the fact that Nick Knight is so good at rotating the strike, it often seems as though he's been out there for ages without scoring, but he does score a lot of singles off a lot of the balls that he faces, which keeps the strike rate up there for him, and also allows people like Michael Vaughan to get more of the strike with him.
Good comeback. Walking Knight thought there was another full toss there, just dipped in on him a little bit. England needing then 17 more for victory. Well, what was I saying? Can you believe it? The longest long up you'll ever see. There's Zudrant at mid-wicket, didn't have to move, it spooned off some part of the bat, I'm not quite sure where. Nick Knight cannot believe it. And what were we talking about? Long ups and full tosses. Well, there you go.
I guess that's one of the advantages that a wrist spinner has, is that you can make the ball bounce maybe a little bit more. So even if you bowl a really bad ball, bit of spin, bit of bounce, and suddenly the worst ball in the world has got you a wicket.
Celebrations. Why not? Thought he was going to go for another boundary. Instead, Nick Knight's gone. He's gone for 51. It's 126 for 4. Paul Collingwood comes to the crease. England just needing 17 more runs for victory. I think their concern is to get it finished as soon as they can, but you have to say, when it's your day, make the most of it. And it's got to be your days. Second wicket with a long op. This one, quite bizarre. Could have hit this anywhere he wanted. He's just there too quickly.'s just toe-ended it. It's gone absolutely nowhere. As Zudrant takes the catch. And another wicket in the over for Dan Van Bung. Cost 8 runs, 21 gone, 126 for 4. And nicely timed. Ian Blackwell's timed the ball magnificently as you go out there. Vandenberg just a little short. Timed very well. 13 to win.
No, a terrific shot. Again, it's a slow pitch, so that's not an easy way to hit the ball. Fantastic piece of timing from Ian Blackwell. Second time he's pierced that extra cover region with very little effort.
He's going to pick up another single there. And they just want to get this wrapped up. 12 more required. Again, that's beautifully timed. That's 4 more. There's no doubt this lad's got a lot of ability. Just a matter of fine-tuning it all. 7 more for victory. No sweeper on the offside, so once you beat the infield, it'll race away. Hits the ball very hard when he gets in Ian Blackwell. Kloppenburg's first over comes to an end. 1 over, none for 10. And Van Bun continues. And to continue to the end of the game in the commentary box, David Lloyd's with David Carr.
Well, thanks, Ian. Shouldn't be much left then from here. 136 for 4.
Help us, Rick, help us! Go on, Dan.
7 more needed. Well done, Van Bunge is doing his best to change the odds. Even the full toss becomes a dot ball.
There's some bizarre dismissals. Van Bunge with these occasional eccentric leg breaks. Well, he's picked up 3 for.
Oh, beautifully bowled. Well, it almost completely deceived Paul Collingwood. Got himself into a very poor position.
Well, it's a daft thing to say, but the bowling that we've seen, if Holland could have scored 250, it would have been a really good game.
Well, that's another full toss. This time Paul Collingwood has found the gap. This time he's put it away safely. England edge closer towards that victory target. 140 for 4. Just a few runs needed now, 3 to be precise. Left alone. Holland just giving a chance with the ball to 1 or 2 unfamiliar players in Van Bunge and Kloppenberg. And the ploy with Van Bunge has certainly worked. 3 for 16 are his figures. He might not get another over though. That's pulled away. That will finish the match off. 1 bounce into the boundary. Over the fence at deep mid-wicket. That's the sort of shot with which we're very familiar when it comes to the batting of Ian Blackwell. So England have polished him off. The Dutch have been dispatched, not without 1 or 2 little inconveniences. But the victory target of 143 has been met in under half the overs. England winners now by 6 wickets. A shake of the hands from Paul Collingwood for his Dutch counterparts. Holland still smiling. They've been well beaten, but they've had a bit of fun with it.
Well, it's an emphatic victory, really. Some eccentric dismissals when the leg spinner came into the attack and England tried to find the boundary. They found it that time. Blackwell, a shake of the hand. Hefty blow once again over square leg, and England have won really in a canter. The men in orange, well, they've not been well and truly tangoed, but they've been tangoed all the same. They'll have enjoyed it, but it's not what they would have wanted. They've said all along that this was the team that they thought they could beat England, but it's England that have come through. 144 for 4 in 23.2 overs. Yeah, a bit of a stroll in the end.
So a pretty incident-free day for England, really, winning the game by 6 wickets, and crucial thing for them is they got the runs quickly. There was no dawdling today. They knew that net run rate might well come into it later on in the tournament, so they got the runs as quickly as possible. 23.2 overs, and bar the Van Bunge 3 wickets, it was all pretty much of a stroll for England. Van Bunge, the man with the best figures, 3 for 16 in his 3 overs. All sorts of bowlers used by the Dutch, but none really able to put any pressure on England, certainly not early on. And here is confirmation of the result. England winning by 6 wickets, having scored 144 for 4 in reply to the Dutch 142 for 9. And after it was all over, Michael Holding caught up with the England captain Nasser Hussain.
It was a good workout for us here. To win in 23 overs in a one-day game is against anyone is a very good performance.
It's important to beat teams like Holland for sure, but also we have to do it convincingly.
Yeah, we did, and that's why we sent a couple of lads in there to keep our run rate up, because I think it might come down to run rate now. And obviously when we fielded, all credit to the Dutch batsmen, all 11 of them got stuck in. None of them gave their wickets away, otherwise it would have been even easier. So they all got stuck in, and credit to them for doing that.
You must have thought at 31 for 5 that it would be over quite quickly.
It would, like I say, against some sides, you know, the tail-enders would have come up and slogged it up in the air and everything, but all their batters, even number 11 looked a good batter, and for them to bat out 49, 50 overs was a good effort. Obviously we lacked a little bit of the killer punch. We haven't got a Brett Lee or someone like that, but we had great discipline. That's what we needed today. All 5 bowlers bowled with great discipline.
4 games to go, Nasa, and against Namibia next in Port Elizabeth. Good luck.
Yeah, if we play like we did today, we'll do well there.